what I was trying to say before I got all tongue-tied is that having like loads of birds, only loads of beneficiaries. Yes, I invite a lot of pests as well, but you get a nice, lovely balance. It takes a couple of years for that to kind of manage itself, if you know what I mean. Nature will always find a way. But then having a lovely space over there to grow vegetables and having an amazing time, and I even grow vegetables over in this section. Little spaces, even in there. Like there's lots of spaces. Like I'd rather have more space of trees and thicket and like habitat than actually growing vegetables, because you kind of need it here. On the mainland, I wouldn't need to do that. On the mainland, I can grow a bunch of squash in a like 10 meter by 10 meter space, and then just be happy and just let it do what it's doing. So it's a plain. But here, I can't do that because the weather's so bad at times, and it's shut. You hear that? There's like something squeaked underground. I think it's like a vole or something. And the weather's summers are so short. I literally have to do this. I'm like going all in, just do it. Like, make me think I'm going overkill, but that's what I need to do. I need to make a thicket. I need to slow the wind down enough, just not stop it entirely, but make a nice, and it's safety in numbers. Like I said, I can see a lot of dead willow here that I've put in. I've put loads of willow in, but a lot of it, some of it is dead. And it's just like, that's why you need to kind of keep going for it. Just keep on trying, and just let things thicken up, and then just hope for the best. So what I'm going to do this year with a lot of this stuff is cut it back halfway so it thickens up, and then I get like a more, and that's why I'm going to feed them too. That's why I need this space, I need this thicket, I need this big dense kind of thicket, just so I can benefit and grow my vegetables and have a nice kind of wind-free life, or if you know what I mean. So that's why I'm taking so long doing this, so bear with me. Like I said, I'm doing all these things, parenting, kind of living my life, trying to exist, got a long distance relationship. It's tough. As I look at these guys, it's that time of year when you see flies like start dancing, having a little party. I wasn't invited, guys. What's going on? But yeah, so just look at that. Look at it. So wet and boggy. It's because the ducks love it, and this rush is showing. So the rush is a sign of moisture, by the way, guys, and a sign of good soil, or there's some goodness here. So you can see there's a lot of rush in this space, loads and loads of rush. So you know the soil is pretty decent, but again, very wet. Again, like I said, willow like it, alder like it. Traverse early area like it, you can grow, you can get away with stuff here. And like I said, instead of just draining this space out to get and put whatever, sheep or whatever, what have you, you can benefit by having lots of beneficiaries come and then grow things where you know it's going to be dry, which is up there, because you don't need, I wouldn't want to kind of cover this space in crops, because that's just it's not a farm, it's not like Norfolk. It's not like Surrey. I mean, it's wet. So yeah, I'd rather kind of just go with the flow. So you mean, for example, here as well, this one's dead. But again, that could have been a nice prop for a bird to land on. But at the same time down here, it's alive. So I'll leave this one, let it do what it's doing. Safety in numbers, folks. But let's have a quick look over here too, because I haven't walked over here for a while. It's so wet again. More alder doing their thing down here. Lots more moisture. So like I said, I could talk about these things all day. And there's a bit of willow growing here. It's about to come through. See, it's starting to pop. So I put a little sheep ball down here. You can see there's willow starting to pop through just here. Also, my pallet fence needs to be doubled up on one side as well. She's still having a bath, but a lot of this willow died. I don't know why. Some has taken, some hasn't. This one's still alive. But again, I think I planted a bit too late. But again, I've got loads more over there, which I'm going to plant up. Just chuck in here and see if it starts to take. And I'm going to go all the way down here and zigzag. I'm going to go straight in front of this and then back down here and then make it. I will box around this whole thing, I think. I'm going to put pallets all the way around because it will slow the wind down then. And I know this space will be just like a nice windproof. I say windproof. It's not exactly 100% windproof, but a nice space to kind of grow trees and shrubs, and leave this bit on this side because it's just a bog. It is sacrilege to kind of think I'm going to dig this up and then put plants in. It's just a peat bog, and it's easier to stay like that because there's a lot of carbon dioxide trapped in there. So for me to dig it up and put trees in, it's kind of counterproductive. So what else am I going to talk about? You can sit here and watch a duck kind of have a good old bath. But I'm just excited about this space. It's just such a lovely space. It's just so I can't wait to see this pop. And like I said, people, feed your trees. I say it, feed your trees. I fed a bunch of trees. In a sec, we'll go in there. We can talk about this in the next vlog, but in the pallet garden. But yeah, feed your trees. and you will watch everything just benefit. Oh, look at this. What is that? I put some cuttings in here. Like I put this basically. If you want it with this, is like some thornless. What's it? Thornless kind of berry, and I put some climbers in here too, just to see if they'll take. And the wind's battered them. You can see how the wind has made this lean a bit, but I made this with constructional steel. There's a lot of it knocking around the croft, and I thought to myself, what am I going to do with it? So I hammered it in and put this chicken wire around it with like this old fence, kind of just so it didn't blow away. And it's still standing. It's survived how many mile-an-hour winds. There was a little bit of bird box in it, it was broken down, but the birds tend to use it, which is nice. Like I said, nice little space for them to reside in. There are some live willow in there that's going to grow through, which is nice, and hopefully it thickens up. If I can find it, I'll cull it, and it can thicken up again and then grow through and become like, and all those ones I had earlier, where are they? What I can do, oh look, big flipping rabbits are eating that. Buggers, that's how annoying they are. They're not eating the trachycarpus, so I've got some few random stuff in here, like this plant here is called a trachycarpus. It's a Chinese windmill palm. And then down here I've got some pt2, which was bought for my birthday, which is sounding a little pepper, like a bit of stress, but still evergreen, still doing its thing. I'm going to try and toporize that. If anything gets too big, I can make a nice massive ball. And whatever random ones. That ginkgo bilboa, is looking pretty down here. I don't know where that bag is down there. Must have come from the compost heap. It's biodegradable anyway, but it's still alive. This I scratched this the other day, and hopefully this ginkgo will get massive and big. I put it back here as well, so it can it's kind of got this wall of willow to kind of protect it in the future from the southwesterlies, so it will get nice and big. And it's got this lovely yellow in the autumn time when it kind of comes out, so it will just be coming. It will come and lean this way, and it will start to pop. So you'll come in here, you'll walk in. That's one of the first things you're going to see come autumn time, and amongst this kind of wall of trees and shrubs. So what was I going to point out? That's it. These. So I was wondering where I was going to put these. But what I could do, and try and do it with one hand, is literally just line this creature hotel with willow. I think that's what I'll do today. It will keep me busy. It's not going to kill my back. So yeah, what I do, put a bunch of willow, interweave it in there, and then just kind of have it grow through, and then it kind of this will be like some living creature hotel in time. But you can just see how muddy and gloomy it gets in here. And so you can see the ducks, they still have a wave of time in here. Curly willow does not really like US at all, man. What was it? Salix Matsudana, which is here as well. You hear Gozzy kicking off. Where is he? You got a goose, by the way, folks. I rescued a goose. I think he's down there. Oh, I can see him. There he is. You alright, Gozzy? You alright, mate? There you have it. My beautiful little woodland patch, which is kind of slowly developing in the bogginess that is the Outer Hebrides, northwest. But I'm confident with all the plants I've got. We've got Alder, which is a nitrogen fixer that can take up all the goodness and the nutrients, well, provide goodness and nutrients whilst absorbing it at the same time. We've got the willow, which is technically a shrub, and I've got abundance of them, which shove them in. The more plants I have, the more willow, the more goodness it will soak up, the more moisture it will soak up, which will eventually dry this place, because in time the willow will kind of start to leave its leaf litter. With all the pallets I've got here, the leaves just won't blow away, start creating a lovely layer, kind of bring the worms up as well to create like a lovely environment for all the worms underneath. And we've got Olearia too, which is an evergreen shrub. Nothing's forever green, folks, so in time that will lose its leaves and shed and start giving to the soil as well. We've got some random rarities. We've got ginkgo bilboa, we've got pt2, trachycarpus, we've got white spruce. We've got lots of random shrubs, but again, willow is the kind of the main backbone of this space, and alder. So essentially that's like a guild. I'm giving some guild advice here. So if you've got a boggy patch, alder, widow, and Olearia to Dartonii. But I can waffle on, I can talk about these things all day. So thank you for sticking with me, folks. It feels like I'm like kind of stuck in, but lots of things are developing. Like I said, I've had a bad back, so I haven't been able to deal with pallets, but I'm getting there. And a lot of people like pallets. So people are cotton on, like pallets are free firewood. But I don't get them in the summertime, so that's when I need to kind of jump on it and start gathering from them so I can kind of keep working over the winter time. That is my plan for this year. So peace and hugs. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video or me rambling about this space, then click some of these videos around the side to see what I'm up to and what I've got up to in the past and how I got to this space. So if I can grow it here, we can grow it anywhere. So hopefully see you in the next one. Kisses.